guys, welcome back to our channel. Thank you so much for being here today. You might notice we have a little change of scenery. Plus you're on the other hand side.
Yes, I'm on this side today.
But we are outside because Claire is sleeping. So we're hoping not to wake her up in this video. But if you've been wondering what it looks like where we're from, this is what it looks like. Today we have a lovely question from our Ask Me Anything forum. If you guys don't already know, our Ask Me Anything forum is this beautiful place where you can go ask whatever question or issues you're moving through at this time on the twin flame journey. Then we will go ahead and answer those questions on this channel so that it can help not only the question asker, but also anybody else who might be watching this and wondering the same thing. So it's this beautiful opportunity to not only help yourself, help us create new and interesting content, but also help others that might be moving through the same thing. So we would just want to take a moment to say thank you for asking your questions. Thank you for making this a possibility, because we've had such beautiful and interesting questions.
Yeah, we've had some very interesting questions that definitely had us thinking very hard on a lot of things.
Yes, and
in a good way.
In a good way. And so without further ado, we'll get into the question. If you would like to ask a question, you can find the link down below. But today our question is, hi Serena, I recently watched your video on union. Does it mean that I have to speak to my twin flame and let them know that we are twin flames? If so, how do I start to tell them about the journey? Do I have to reach out to my twin flame first? It is very taboo in my community and background to talk about this journey. By the way, I'm a divine feminine, and I do feel that my divine masculine feels this connection too, but we never really talk about it to each other. Like, we've been keeping it our little secret with one another. I've been receiving dreams, telepathic communication, and visions too. We've been married spiritually 3 times. By the way, thank you in advance for the answer.
It's a pleasure.
Well, thank you very much for the question. This is a really interesting topic that I think a lot of people wonder about. Like, does my twin flame need to know that we're twin flames in order to move forward on the journey? And your thoughts on that?
I don't think it's necessary. I think there's probably a lot of twin flame relationships out there that don't know about the twin flame dynamic or terminology, and they are still in that relationship. So I don't think it's necessary to know that, or for them to know. If you would like them to know, obviously then you just need to communicate that with them. But do I think it's essential for both partners to know about it? No, I don't think it's essential. It could potentially deepen it if you both do know about it, but it won't take anything away from the relationship.
Yeah, I agree with you. And sorry guys, we have our little puppy running around below our feet here. I agree with you. I think that it's all dependent on how important you think it is, right? Like, some twin flames might feel like, you know, I feel comfortable or I feel vulnerable enough to share this with my twin flame. You can see him in the background. You know, that I feel like it's important to me to know, for them to know that I think we're twin flames, right? So I think you have to gauge it on yourself and how important you think it is, right? And this is the other thing about being twin flames. I think we oftentimes think, like, there's a pretty big line between oversharing and being authentic, right? And if you sincerely believe that you'll speak about this and they'll either run away further, or, you know, like, this topic will have whatever meaning you assign to it, right? So if you think that, oh, I'm going to tell them about twin flames and they're going to run away, that's still you ultimately rejecting a part of yourself, right? Yeah. So you have to look at where your limiting beliefs of it are, but you also have to deal with it on a practical level. Like, if it's not a practical thing to talk about where you're at in your relationship, right? Like, let's see, you've met this person 3 times and, like, on a very human level, you don't know each other. Probably coming out of the woodwork and saying, like, hey, we're twin flames, is going to, like, kind of blow their minds, especially, like, if you're the awakened one and they're the, like, asleep one, right? Or they're not aware of the connection. It probably is going to freak them out. So, right, you want to use your best judgment. And some twin flames will feel like, oh, well, but if I'm not sharing that with them, then I'm not being authentic. And that isn't necessarily true. You don't have to share everything with your partner for it to be authentic, right? Like, you can keep some things to yourself and it's healthy. Yeah, it's still healthy. You have your own inner world. They have their own inner world. So, like, for us, we can use ourselves as an example. Like, I process things on a very deep and spiritual level. Well, you process things a little bit more logically, right?
A lot more logically.
Yeah. So the fact of that matter is that, like, the way that we see things, the way that we see and perceive the world is very different. We can both understand where each other is coming from, but we don't process and see the world the same way. And that doesn't mean we're being inauthentic with each other. There's a lot of like spiritual things that happen to me, dreams that I have, meditations, downloads that I get that I don't share with James. And that doesn't make me feel like, oh no, like I'm being inauthentic or I'm withholding information from him. No, it's actually like, that's Serena's spiritual world and that's sacred to me. And if I feel like it's important to our relationship and our dynamic, then absolutely I will share it. But if it's not pertinent to our relationship and our dynamic, then I keep that beautifully for myself. And I think that's part of also being a sacred container for yourself, is realizing that you get to consciously choose what you share and what you don't share. Now, if that's something that, again, you have to look at limiting beliefs, because if it's something that you feel like you can't progress on your journey, right? Like if you feel like this is keeping me from union, then you have to look at, okay, what limiting beliefs in the twin flame space do I hold around what's keeping me from union? And this is actually a great journaling prompt for anybody who's still in separation right now, is asking yourself, what do I believe are the biggest factors keeping me from union? And you might be surprised what answers come up, and what limiting beliefs do come up. And sometimes the fact that our twin flame is, he looks like he's going to throw up. Oh, shame. He just threw up a ton. Do you see all that?
Yeah, no, he's eating it.
What limiting beliefs come up for you around the twin flame journey, and why you think you can't get there, right? Like what's holding you back from that space? Do you have anything else to add on that?
No, I mean, I think you pretty much covered the lot of it. Like you're saying, it's important sometimes to keep some things to yourself. It's not that you betraying your partner or not being authentic or honest with them. Sometimes there's certain things, I mean, I have thoughts that go through my mind that I don't share with anyone, because it doesn't actually influence other people the same way that it influences me. So therefore there is no need to share that. But it doesn't mean at any point that I'm withholding from you or anything like that. And it's important to know that there are certain things that you need to keep yourself. Obviously, big things that affect your partner, those things you should be talking about. But if it's things that are personal to you, that doesn't actually affect the relationship with your partner or your general day-to-day life, keeping those things to yourself, it also makes you feel just a little bit safer sometimes, I guess.
Because it's your relationship with yourself. Like that's very precious.
Which is a very important thing to build. And if you don't have that for yourself, with yourself, and you're always just giving that away, you kind of tend to lose yourself in other people. And that's something that can be, for lack of better terms, dangerous. Because if you lose yourself in other people, you end up living for everyone else instead of actually living your life for yourself that benefits the people around you. And that's two very different ways to live.
I think that's actually a really good point, because that also stems with outside validation, right? Like, do you feel like you need to share with your twin flame that you guys are twin flames because you want the validation from them to confirm it, right? So then you have to ask yourself, okay, well, how am I going to feel if they don't confirm it, right? Or what am I going to feel? Like, you have to prepare yourself for any of the outcomes. And part of this question, which was a beautiful question, was how do I go about beginning to broach this subject with my twin flame, if that's the route you choose to go? And I think the first thing that you need to know is you don't have to dive right into it and share everything that you've experienced on your twin flame journey, because your journey is your journey ultimately, right? It's yours and yours alone. Even though you might be walking down it, I almost dropped the phone. You might be walking down it parallel, it's still your journey and their journey, right? So you just are walking the journey together, but your journey is still yours. And so the best thing I personally would do if you were going to approach this subject is start asking them small questions like, did you notice that we have a really strong connection? Or did you notice that, our connection seems different than any of the other previous connections you've ever had? Like, if you know specifically that it's either taboo in your culture or community, or if you know specifically that this person, like your twin flame, is not like a very spiritual person, then one of the best things you can do is just begin asking them questions and allow them to fill in the space. And by the feedback that they give you will actually tell you how far you can take it with them, right? Like, it's almost like gauging, like, okay, how far down the rabbit hole are they? And if they're not very far down the rabbit hole, then I'll stop here so they can still feel comfortable, right? Or you can be like me, which I'm pretty sure I told you just straight up, like, hey, do you know what twin flames are?
You didn't. You went straight into it full tilt from like 0 to hero within about 30 seconds flat.
And you guys,
I tried to run.
the reason why I did that is because I personally, on my journey, needed to feel like I could be 100% myself, say any shit. It was like a test for him, really. Like, I was like, can I say anything to this person and know that they will accept me? Because I was in a place where I was really accepting of myself. So I knew no matter what I said to him, if he didn't approve of it, okay, bye. You know, like, I was very, like, kind of empowered in that way. And there was a lot of taboo or risky things I sent you while we were in separation, and it was for that purpose. Like, I was exploring different aspects of myself, and I needed to make sure that whatever partner I chose to be with was accepting of that, because that's where I wanted to be at in my life. So it was important to me at that time. But everyone has to make this choice for themselves, and you have to be sure that when you're making this choice and you're making this decision, that you're okay with any outcome, right? Because we don't always know how other people are going to respond, and if they're your twin flame, it's likely they're going to respond in whatever way you put it out there. So if you put it out there looking for validation, they might not validate you. They might reflect back to you the fact that you still need outside validation. If you put it out there with total and complete confidence and they reflect back with you total complete confidence, then that's your answer, right? So just know that they might mirror any wounding or any unresolved like blocks or patterns that you have with yourself around this space. So just be wary that that could happen.
I mean, yeah, you never know what reaction you're gonna get, and the thing is, as long as you've been your authentic self and you understand that the outcome might not be exactly what you want, and you're happy to accept it no matter what outcome comes of it, if you have that place of mind, then it's worthwhile exploring. If you're going into it with like, oh, I don't know, I only want this, and like I don't want that, or like it could be this, then it might be worthwhile to rather just sit within yourself a little bit and just be like, why do I feel like if they don't accept me that it's not a good thing, or that I have to be scared of that? Because that's just showing you that you haven't actually gone to a point where you actually are in a place to share it.
Yeah.
And if you haven't got to that point, then maybe that's when you need to go back, do a bit more internal work on yourself, dive a bit deeper, and then move forward from there.
Yeah, I agree.
Good.
Any other comments or responses? What did you think when I told you, like, hey, do you know about twin flames? I think we might be twin flames. Like, what do you remember what your initial response was? This girl's crazy.
I kind of knew you were crazy off the bat,
Yeah.
but I don't know. A part of me kind of just says that I was thinking that like I had no idea what the hell you're talking about, and whether it was complete poppycock or truth didn't really matter, because that was what you believed in and was willing to explore it. And you know, at that point, whether we ended up where we are now, obviously, or we not ended up here, that was unknown. So there's no point to really put anything more into it for me than what it was.
Yeah.
It was kind of like you're sharing something that was deep to you and meant a lot to you. So it was up to me then to be like, okay, well, even if I don't accept this and I don't believe it myself, that doesn't change anything. It's still your belief, and that's always been my big thing is if you believe something, well, I don't have to believe it.
Yeah.
But if you believe it, I'm behind you.
Yeah, so basically you were just holding space for whatever I was sharing with you, regardless of your own thoughts and feelings around it.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of things that go through my mind. If I had to tell you that, you'd probably think I should belong in an asylum or something, you know. So yeah, it's just about holding space, and if you can do that, obviously it's difficult knowing from which side you're coming from as well.
And after I told you the terminology, did you go look it up on the internet?
No.
Okay.
I've got my encyclopedia right next to me. I don't know, it goes to the internet.
Nobody needs the internet when Serena's around.
Exactly.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have any additional questions, put them down below or fill out the Ask Me Anything form. If you are looking for more support, check the links. You can join us in Twin Flame Path to Awakening, a group coaching program where we dive deep into all of these things. You can ask questions and questions and questions to your heart's desire, and we help you find the answers that truly resonate with you. We dive deep into limiting beliefs, programs, blocks, wounds, everything, plus the support of a community of twin flames that are actually aligned, doing the same work that you're doing, working through the same goals. So there's something just truly beautiful about doing this in such a safe and, contained space where you feel like you can actually lay your heart out on the line and it's going to be held and received so well.
And cared for.
So we truly, truly appreciate walking this path with you, and you can apply down below to work with us, and we'll see you on the inside. Thanks for being here today.
Bye.
Bye.